Welcome to the Flashing Badger podcast. This is part 2 of us playing the Lightless Beacon scenario from Call of Cthulhu. And joining me, as always, are...
Hey, it's Mike!
It's Fitz here.
And it's Wegs.
Thanks for coming back. Last time you were with us, the adventurers had just stumbled into the lighthouse. With the weather beginning to build outside, they'd come across signs of a struggle. Entering the study, they'd seen a suspicious painting that had images of someone staring in with luminous eyes. They'd gotten scared by this and decided to end the episode. So we pick back up on their adventure now.
I didn't want to come back. It was getting too scary.
Well, unfortunately, you're contractually obligated.
Yes, I too am a little bit frightened. I'm starting to get weirded out by these yellow eyes that we're seeing constantly. Can we have a discussion? He's a naturalist, some sort of
Marine biologist.
Perhaps
you could put some respect on my
Yeah,
name.
sorry about that. Surely you've seen the things we're seeing, and I have seen this under the water. Have you got any idea what's going on?
Nautical John is terrified.
Good. So, to remind you all, they're in the study of this downstairs lighthouse building where they'd come across some armchairs, one of which was knocked to the ground, and a sinister painting, as we've discussed. But also in the room we have a writing desk to one side with a roll top on it. There's a wooden chair next to that, and there's a small collection of books, maritime books, bird books, a repair manual for the lighthouse, some binoculars, paper, pens, and looking through next to where the painting is, there's also a stack of paintings beneath it, which you can't see at the moment. They're all lined up in a stack there. And there's also a bunch of letters sitting on a nearby table.
I'm going to check these letters if I can.
Okay, so Wegs, that's Reggie Sasquatch. He's going to move over to the writing desk.
See who these letters are addressed to.
Okay.
Because I realise from earlier this evening, the G-Man over here was calling out to a Michael. I wonder, does he know who is here or who's supposed to be here?
Okay, so you move over to this writing desk and you lift up the roll top, and inside you see, the usual stationery, envelopes and stamps and ink bottles and blotters and all sorts. All across the desk, there's a whole bunch of invoices or quotes for what look like coin appraisals. And you can see on these, consistently they're talking about different values of coins. If you want to go through that big pile of letters and get some order to it, there's a skill you've got called library use. You may or may not have.
I do indeed.
So you can give me a library use roll, and let's...
I shall.
One of the more dynamic skills, library use.
Yeah,
Look.
In a lesser game, it wouldn't come up very often, but in Call of Cthulhu, it's one that you use routinely.
Yeah, clearly.
Yeah, I have a skill, the Huey decimal system. Is that of any use to it?
There's also the Dewey and Louis decimal system. Partner systems.
I'm looking to roll a 45. I've rolled a 46. I'm going to use one luck point.
Okay, so by spending a luck, he's bumped that down to a 45, which is a success. Going through these letters, you're able to very quickly quantify them into order. Apparently, reading dates is a library use skill, so well done. And you find out that most of these letters are in chronological order. They're from all the way back, I'll remind you, it's April the 12th, 1926, all the way back from March on the 8th. And the very latest is dated April the 2nd. It's actually from the letterhead says it's from the Newburyport Society. And I'll give you a little handout there of what the letter says. And would you like to share with the group what you found?
Yes, I have a letter here to one Dear Mr. Cassidy. Thank you for your letter dated February 28th of this year. I do indeed recognise the coin you described, or at least I recognise the style of decoration, for we have a piece of similar origin here in our museum in Newburyport. I should just make a note. This letter is written in script and my eyesight is not so wonderful since I've taken up a 3-pack-a-day smoking habit. So,
and you're doing all of this cigarettes akimbo as well, so I'm so impressed.
1 in the mouth, 2 in my right hand, 3 in my left.
1 in the ear.
Yeah, 1 behind the ear, and that one's lit. As a result, I suspect your coin hails from nearby Innsmouth, and only the locals of that benighted town could tell you its true worth, to them at least. However, if you value your immortal soul, I strongly caution you against contacting any denizens of this place. No good ever came from dealing with Innsmouth. Instead, the Newburyport Society would be glad to purchase any coins you may have from you at market value once their authenticity has been confirmed. If you'd care to make arrangements to visit me here at the Society's museum at your earliest convenience, then I can arrange to have our appraiser examine the coins, whereupon we can agree on a fair price for the sale. Again, Mr. Cassidy, I urge you most strongly not to approach anyone in Innsmouth about your find. It really is for the best of all concerned. Yours sincerely, Miss Anna Hilton?
Tilton.
Tilton. I thought it was a Tilton. The script is a little beyond
Okay.
me.
So, sinister concerning letter.
In relation to coins,
Are there coins? Sorry, did you say there were coins there as well?
Well, when he's moved the letters, he's found there's actually a large book there. Coin origins and the catalogue is the word I'm looking for, with a list of all different coins and pictures and things. That's clearly been leafed through a whole bunch of times.
Quite an exciting read. Don't ruin the ending for me.
And Reggie, you can see there's a couple of drawers under that roll top that you've listed up to look. There's a couple of drawers. There's one on the left which looks open, but there's a key that's been snapped off in the front of it, and there's one on the right that, as you just gingerly try it there, it's appears locked. What would you like to do?
I'm going to examine it closer to see if there's anything further I can do in terms of jiggling it loose or examining it closer. So
there's one unlocked and one locked. You're going for the locked one first?
I'm going to just see if I can get into the locked one first.
Okay.
I suspect if I have a look at the unlocked one, there will be very little of value in there.
So you can try and do like a locksmith roll to try and pick it open. You can try and force it open if you wish.
My locksmith roll is a 1%er. Like literally I have a 1% chance of success, so I'm not going to do that.
Okay, you can try and force the drawer if you'd like. Something you can use as a lever or...
Reggie, I can see you struggling with a drawer over there. May I be able to give you some assistance?
What do you like with your...
I have a dissecting kit, which I usually use on the nautical wildlife, but perhaps I could help you with your drawer.
Okay, what's in there that's going to help?
Peruse my dissecting kit. It's what I'd expect to be in there. There's small little pliers, there's a scalpel, there's like a spreading tool.
Rib spreader or something?
Yeah.
Tiny key.
Fish have ribs.
So the lock picks, the usual.
A harpoon.
All right, well, if you'd like to... So you're going to try and force that drawer open? Are you handing it over to Reggie or are you...
Oh, I'm not doing it. I just walk over and just drop my dissecting kit on there and I just say, these are crafted away from the Americas, so they're quite valuable.
So I should sell them? I have a appraising skill of 55.
If you could just tell me what they're worth, that's the only reason I've approached.
Yeah, it's the antique dealer.
Antique roadshow, yeah.
Okay, so you're going to try and lever the drawer open?
Yeah,
or
using the very generously offered tools I'm going to have.
Give me a strength roll.
Strength. I'm looking to roll under a 65. I've rolled a lucky 13.
You force the drawer open, and inside you see a small book, a small journal. And having a look inside, you can see there's a few pages there. They've been written out for you.
They have.
You can peruse them all, come back to you with a summary if you'd like. I think that might be the best way while I move on to other people. But you can see on the front of that journal, it's leather bound. There's a rough sketch of a sort of obelisk style shape.
I see him do this. And I quickly snatch that journal out of his hands. I am the law here. And I say, before you have a read for that, important government business, let me take a quick look. It might not be yours to read.
Would have thought this island is outside your jurisdiction.
Yeah.
It's offshore. It's federal. Federal.
Almost 500 feet offshore.
I thought we could gamble here, damn.
All right, so he snatches it away, and you could be reading that. So you peruse it and let us know, and the rest of us will continue. So
I did flick through it quickly, and I saw a few names.
okay, and just between you and I, the handwriting was quite familiar to you
It was.
from a letter that you've received.
It was.
They don't know that yet. So, Wegs, there's that other drawer there. Would you like to have a look in there?
The open one? Yes. Yes, I'll have a look in there.
Excellent. So when you open it up, there's a wooden box in there. And when you open that wooden box, there's this green velvet lining with a little cutout in the shape of a revolver. Unfortunately, there is no gun there. There are, however, 6 loose bullets in that drawer. If you'd like to take them with you, you're
Yes,
welcome
I would. I sneaked them away before Lawman. He's got his nose buried in the journal, so he doesn't know I've done this.
to. Carter, you've snatch that journal off him. You've managed to have a quick read through. Just give us a quick summary of what's in there.
So I have a quick glance through it. I'm happy to give it back to Reggie right now. Basically, and I'm happy to tell the group, this belongs to someone called Cassidy. He is a person who obviously was working at the lighthouse, a caretaker. He found a bunch of coins on one of his walks someday and a bunch of parts, mechanical parts that he thinks belongs to a ship. He started to get quite paranoid as the more he found, he was looking to line his pockets. The others seemed to be watching him, especially Michael, who is someone I was meant to meet here tomorrow. So he became quite paranoid, and it looks like at some point he's gone and bought himself a gun.
Hey Carter, are you ready to tell us why you want to meet Michael?
I'm out here to meet my friend Michael, or my colleague Michael. When I say colleague, just a person I know. We had a meeting we were going to have tomorrow. He's one of the caretakers here in the lighthouse. He was providing me some information about possible smugglers and shipping routes.
So is that why you were so eager to grab those papers off of Reggie?
I thought they might have information about smugglers.
You're pretty happy that you've explored this room.
I'm starting to trust these two as well. I'm happy that we've explored this room.
Okay, and you've all now had a leaf through the journal. You've all got the same sort of information about that. You've got that door that leads back into the hallway. The hallway is still dark. You can make your way out there and have a look. Or there's a door that leads outside.
Let's go out and have a look.
Inside? In the hallway?
Sorry, yes. Out into
Yep.
the hallway, into the darkened hallway, yep.
All right. As you go out the study, the light of the door is obviously casting some light in the hallway enough to navigate by. You can see there is a light switch for the hallway if you want to go and put it on. Other than that, it's a dark corridor that leads towards the height of the lighthouse at one end and back outside to the other.
I'd like to go around and switching on as many light switches as possible.
All right, so as soon as you turn on the light in the hallway, you notice that there's 3 coat hooks by the door. Underneath that, there's 2 pairs of what they call galoshes here, which is American for, what do you call them? Gumboots. Wellington boots for our English audience. Wellies. So there's boots, the kind of boots that a lighthouse keeper would wear. There's 2 sets of those. There's also 2 oil lanterns hanging up on a hook. As soon as you turn the light on, give me a spot hidden roll, everyone.
I have rolled a 14, which is a hard success.
Okay. No extremes? No?
No, I've rolled a 37, which just gives me a 6.
I've rolled a 70, I failed by 10.
You can bump up to an extreme if you like, but other than that, there's not much.
Well, that's
else.
4 luck points. I might as well.
I'd like to do that.
Oh, okay. Well, only one of you needs to do it, or else, you'll all get the
I'll
same
do it.
thing.
It's 5 luck points, but I haven't used any of mine yet.
Appropriately enough, Carter, with his crime scene investigation, has a good look around, and when he's really paying attention to his surroundings, he notices, lodged in the hallway floor, there's 2 bullets lodged in the ground. You can just see they've almost blended into the grain of the wooden floor, but now that you've paid attention, you can't miss them. They've torn up the ground and embedded into this wooden floor. You've got probably some firearms skills or an intelligence check. Do that for me, and you'll have a look into the origin of where they've come from.
I've rolled a 90. Without even looking, I dare say I failed.
You can't tell where these have been fired from or where they've come from. Your ballistics knowledge isn't good enough to assess what kind of gun or where these are from. Now that the light is on, you can see that from the kitchen door up to the stairs at the end of the hallway there, you can see that there is spattered blood track leading its way in. So I'm going to get you to take a sanity roll for me, please.
I've rolled a 25, which is well under.
I've rolled 100.
Right, so you can take 1 sanity point loss, please.
And I've rolled a 34. I've succeeded.
And in the middle of the floor, drawing your eye instantly with their glinting and their shining, are 3 large coins. They're big, solid, they're shining under the light. And you can go and have a look closer and pick them up if you wish.
I'd pick one up.
Yeah, I pick one up. We've heard about these coins. I'm interested to see exactly what we're being.
I absentmindly pick one up and hand one to Nautical John as well.
So the coin that you've been handed, when you look at it closely, on one side it's got an obelisk design, and on the other there's strange sigils and disturbing designs, things that look kind of like runes, things that you find seem to shift under your eyes. As you rotate the coin, they seem to change. As you're looking at one side, the other side seems to be slightly in motion. You instantly get the feeling that there's some kind of unnaturalness or occult meaning to these. If you all give me an occult check, we'll see if you know anything about that.
I've rolled a 77, which is well over what I need to be.
I've rolled a 9, which is actually an extreme pass for me.
Oh, okay, what's your occult knowledge?
My occult knowledge is 45, and my hard is 22, and my extreme is 9.
So you've got some experience in the area.
I have no experience in the occult, and it's foreign to me, so I've failed miserably.
Carter's immediately struck by the fact that this has a deeper meaning, an occult meaning, and that you don't know exactly what it means, but you know it's connected to religious worship in the South Seas. This has been found scratched into remote icons in museums and things, but it has a taint of the unnatural to it, and instantly you can feel that there's some wrongness, I suppose, to the coin as it is. It doesn't feel good. It feels oily under your fingers despite being a clean gold coin. What do you do with them?
I have a magnifying lens as a little jewellery inspecting sort of tool. I'm just going to have a closer look and see if there's anything, any helpful detail that might stick out further.
So you can tell that they're, of decent quality craftsmanship, but you can't really tell anything about how old they are or what the symbols might mean. They're foreign to you. You're standing in this hallway. It appears that there's nothing else. Obviously, you've noted now that there's the missing jacket and boots from the hooks, but apart from that, there's nothing else to find by the look of it. Where would you like to go? So you still have those two doors. You've got one door that leads back to the kitchen, one that leads back to the study, and over there on the opposite side, there's the opposite side of the hallway you haven't explored at all. There's two doors there.
Maybe I start making my way towards the study door, or the door that leads back towards the study.
Yep. So as you're walking back down the hallway there, you're passing a door on your right that seems to lead to quite a large room. It goes all the way from the very front of the building. 80% of the building is taken up by this large room. So if you want to turn into that one, that's on your right-hand side.
I'm with you.
The door is
Skipper.
currently closed.
Yep, so I reach out, I grab the handle, and just in a slow motion, as if it's a piece of pie, just slowly opening up, I'm looking inside.
Carter, have you still got your gun in your hand at this point? Or are you?
I think I've reholstered it by this stage.
Okay.
I had it out when I heard the pots and was scared and all that, but I believe I've reholstered it.
You set foot inside the room and the light casts in as the door creaks open, and you can see that there's a bunk room. There's 3 neatly made beds, single beds scattered around the room, and there's a large pile of books stacked up neatly in one corner of the room. It's like a Dr. Venkman thing, no human being would stack books like this. And you see there's 3 large cupboards, and looking at them, they're those doorless sort of locker kind, and you see that there's soap and towels and stacked up bedding and blankets presumably for each of the 3 beds. And above each of the lockers there, you can see there's a nameplate. One reads Turner, one reads Cassidy, and one reads Smith. If you want to have a search around the room, you can. And I'll get a spot hidden roll from all of you. And Fitz as Carter, Carter will get a bonus dice for this. You'll get to re-roll and pick your best.
I've rolled a 94. I can't find anything.
My best roll out of those two was a 19, which gives me a hard pass for the spot hidden.
So you find a gold coin that's sitting on the floor just under the edge of one of the bunks. There's 6 loose bullets on the ground, so you're welcome to take those if you like. And there is a pocket-sized notebook, which you can just see this bulge in the edge of Turner's mattress. You can tell which one it is because there's nameplates on the bed. And as you get a bit closer, you can see that the seam is splitting. You reach in there and take it apart and pull out a small notebook. And I'll give you a handout here.
So I pick up this book. George Cassidy, previous criminal record, involved in smuggling? Lights on water, small rowboat? Found ship parts on North Shore, found gold coin on North Shore. Bigger than just bootleg moonshine. What is going on? Smith said saw someone in trees and peering through window. Men on island at night? Croaking noise? Frogs? These appear to be notes being made by Turner.
And as if on cue, as you read that, you can hear faintly outside a noise that sort of a touch of the Amazon rainforest frog to it, the gurgling, burbling in the back of the throat, which seems to echo across the still of the island.
Your lawman mate who's on this island, what's his name? Turner.
Michael Turner.
All right, and does this belong to him?
It appears that it does. It's in Turner's bunk.
Okay.
He's obviously making some notes about...
All right, who's Cassidy?
Well, isn't he I'm assuming he's one of the other players here that was the one making the notes in the diary and stuff like that. Okay. Don't know about the other bloke, though. We haven't heard much about him.
Cassidy, Turner, and Smith were the three names, yeah.
Their beds are named. I'm hoping that the rest of their equipment is as well. The raincoats and the boots outside this room. I'd like to go check the raincoats to see if they've got names on the lapels to try and identify which set of gear is missing.
I'm actually really unhappy that he's figured out that cool policing investigator trick before I did.
I learned it from what you knew.
So you go there, and there aren't any names, unfortunately. The hooks aren't named; they're just random. You can see, obviously, the boots are different sizes, so are the jackets, but you don't know who's who or what size equates to what person. Okay. So where do you guys want to go? What do you want to do?
Is there anything else inside this room that you need to look at before we step out?
No, I think we've had a good look and haven't found it. I'm happy with that. I'm starting to get a bit keen to find Michael Turner.
Yeah. And I'm getting a sense of adventure about me. I feel safe with the two of you.
I'm starting to trust these two. I don't know if it's the fear bonding us.
I'm back out of the room and I'm looking for the next place to search.
So in the hallway, you've still got one more door that you haven't been in that goes off to a very small room, or there's the few steps up that go into the base of the lighthouse itself, into the big spiral staircase.
I'm just going to go barreling into that small room. Its light was on.
No, you can't see, the door's firmly shut at the moment, but...
I force it open pretty forcefully.
Okay, so you bang the door open and barrel inside to find yourself in a room that's about 3 feet deep and 3 feet wide, with the shelves lined absolutely floor to ceiling with dried preserves and foods and all kinds of supplies. This is obviously the dry larder for the lighthouse, and it's a lot. Like, it's enough to see 3 people through months of season. So there's a whole heap of supplies in there. Nothing that particularly draws your eye.
Not worth a bit of a search for myself.
Yeah, you have a quick search around and you find exactly what you would expect to find in here. Looking behind different jars and cans and all sorts, you look for anything that might have been secreted away. But
Any smokes? Keep your eye out for some smokes. I could use it up.
because that's one entire wall is just cigarettes.
Any bottles of booze? Little hip flasks or anything?
There shouldn't be.
No,
Sorry, I forgot where we were.
forgot when we were. More importantly, yeah.
That's entrapment, isn't it? Would you like a drink, boys?
Yeah, there's nothing that grabs your attention in the supplies.
Yeah.
There. It looks like the routine supplies you'd expect. Imagine a luxurious and historic holiday spot right here in New England. Founded in 1643 and situated on the Monnoxet River, scenic Innsmouth calls you to visit. See scenic Devil's Reef. Be charmed by the flavorful locals. Be converted by the ancient esoteric order of Dagon.
Innsmouth. Wasn't that a place where a transparent beast unleashed its necrophagous appetite upon local livestock?
You're thinking of Dunwich.
Wasn't Innsmouth the place where a putrefying corpse was seen ambulating, exchanging its vital essences into the bodies of other still living beings?
You're thinking of Arkham.
Surely Innsmouth is where, in dark pre-Pleistocene eras long forgotten, the devotees of Sathogua worshipped his fetid back-tricking being, lit by the lambent light of flickering torches as they undertook their dark, loathsome rituals under a gibbous moon.
Ha ha! No! You're thinking of the Plateau of Leng. Experience the call of the sea. Have an Innsmouth look today. You'll want to stay forever.
Flashing badger.
I'm avoiding going outside because
so
I
am
don't
I
like
over
the
there,
sound
but
of
we've got
frogs and darkness. So I'm almost like leading you towards the main lighthouse circular area. I'm nodding towards it and looking back at you.
So there's just like 3 or 4 flat steps that go up into this circular room, and looking up, you can see that it seems to go on for a very long way before it tapers almost to a point, and there's a big metal open spiral staircase going up the middle of the room, running up a central shaft. And looking up, you can't see anything. You can see the roof above with a cutout that seems to lead out to where the lighthouse lamp is, but again, it's a long, long way up. And you can see there's a metal mesh grill with some equipment on it just below the lighthouse lamp proper. So if you want to go up, you can. Tell me what order you're going up in and who's going where.
Maybe we should try and get the light back online, because that other boat, if it's in good condition, they might be able to come rescue us. Or if our rescue boat needs to find us, they'll need to be able to navigate to the island.
And I'm thinking there's a bit of a mystery here. Why has this light gone out? Yep, I'm happy to go up.
And where are the lighthouse keepers?
Well, exactly. So I'm happy to head up.
I'm certainly not first in the stack. I'm trying to bury myself in the middle for safety.
Fitz, are you taking the lead as a
Would you like to go
forward
first,
G-man?
Reggie?
Why don't you go first, G-Man?
Sure, I go first.
I'd like to keep an eye on you.
All right. So you slowly make your way up the stairs, and you can feel the cold concentrated in this room. It's like a concrete funnel that seems to be the same temperature all the time, you'd imagine. But your clanging footsteps go up and up and up until eventually you find a plateau coming ahead of you, and moving warily, you stick your head over the edge and see there's a large mechanism here. There's a large clockwork machine that seems to be the drive shaft that feeds up to the lamp. And from your sort of basic rudimentary knowledge of how these things work, you can tell that this would be the mechanism that makes the lighthouse light turn and probably provides the power as well. Nearby, there's a couple of boxes stored here, which are quite sizable themselves. There's a small workbench, there's a tool bag, and there's a bunch of books and papers on the workbench scattered around there, which you're welcome to have a look through. If you wish, you can look through anything. Opposite that workbench, there's a small table. There's a radio set on it, which looks run down and disrepaired. You don't know. You haven't tried to touch it yet.
And the drive shaft isn't working?
It doesn't appear to be rotating at the moment, no.
I make my way towards the workbench and sort of cast my hand over the paperwork and things that are there and see if anything catches my eye.
There's a lot of very technical papers here. They're the kind of thing that you'd need some kind of mechanical or electrical background to really understand. There's lots of talk about, mechanical strengths and gearings and electric resistances. So if anyone's got a skill in any of those areas, you're welcome to make a roll for me and we'll see if you can understand some of it.
I have a look at the paperwork and identify that it doesn't mean much to me, and I sort of lose interest pretty quick.
Yeah, I have a bit of a look at it. I like to have a bit more of an examination of it.
You were very good with the generator before last episode, so let's see.
If we can keep that luck going. And I roll a 38, which gives me, a pass.
Looking through the you see one of them is a service logbook, and you can tell, even though it's written in a sort of a shorthand, that it's been for the purpose of examining wiring and the standard checks they do. And everything looks routine, except flicking through, you get to one on February the 12th, 1926, so 2 months ago. And there's a short note in there about how wiring problems had caused the lamp to burn out well ahead of schedule. In brief, there's notes there that say how an electrical short caused the failure, and that plus a storm meant that the bulb couldn't get repaired right away, and the lighthouse was down for several hours on that evening. Everything else looks routine.
That's very interesting to me. Very interesting, actually.
I try and be reassuring, and I say that there's a perfectly good reason for all of the things that are happening on this island, and I think we're just jumping at shadows at this point. It's obviously falling apart, it's in disrepair, and maybe that other person is now just trying to get it all back online.
Sorry, this other person is running around?
They're missing raincoat and boots. They're just out battling the weather to get something back up.
Where have they gone, though?
I don't know, but I'm just saying that I think we're all getting a bit worked up, but help is on the way, and there's people here who know what they're doing. It's just some older materials and equipment that's fallen apart.
Yeah, are you doing anything while we're here?
Well, I feel like I've missed something in the locker, like in the bunks, in the foot lockers. I just feel like there's something else that I've missed. So if you guys are happy to keep tinkering around up here, I'll just shoot downstairs quickly and have a quick look through.
Okay. So while he's looking through the logs, let's
Yep,
skip
happy
forward
with
to
that.
that. You're down there. Yeah.
Yep,
what are
I'm
you doing
down
once you're
there.
in
I just feel like Cassidy. I'm looking through his foot locker, his clothing locker, his bed. I'm flipping his mattress. I'm doing I'm going through it like I'm a man who knows there's more to this and I'm missing something from
Okay.
George Cassidy.
Yeah, you look through and you find all the possessions you'd expect. What's it seems like you've got some kind of connection or some kind of interest in Cassidy. What's that? Talk to me about that.
I know George Cassidy. George Cassidy and I used to run in the same circles when we were partners in crime. We used to smuggle exotic, strange goods. He used to steal and supply, and I used to be able to sell them with my connections. Things have gone significantly belly up. We got in way over our heads and resulted in some pretty dire consequences for people, which I won't go into now, but safe to say I was scared straight, so I'm legit now. and I'm trying to make sure that George isn't being dragged back into the life of crime that led to disaster last time.
While you're away from the others, when Carter found that journal and it mentioned about George Cassidy's criminal history, or the smuggling history, what was your thought there?
My thought was, shit, they can't find out.
Fair enough.
My thought was, well, I was actually more surprised at it being ripped away from me by the federal agent. Thought that's more suspicious than if I'd tried to hold on to it. So I let it go, and he didn't challenge me on anything, and nobody's been, sort of asking too many questions about my involvement. So I'm trying to keep things pretty much on the down low. So when I've said I need to go back downstairs and have a look through George Cassidy's stuff, I'm hoping that they haven't really cottoned on. And it's more just, hey, I've got a case of the heebie-jeebies and I've got an itch I need to scratch. I need to just go and check the room and see if there's anything there.
There's nothing else that you
I've not
discover
missed
in
anything.
there.
There's nothing that can link me to Cassidy.
Nothing that you find in his possessions. It looks like the possessions of a normal lighthouse keeper. They look completely consistent with the other lighthouse keeper stuff, apart from the journal you found is the only unique thing in that room,
Which I've kept with.
You two are back up on top of the service room there. So there's still that radio that's sitting there, and you can see at the end of the little platform you're on is the stairs that lead up to what must be the final lamp room. And the chair that would be at the radio operator station is tipped over and is blocking that stairway at the moment. It's only a light wooden chair, but
I suggest to Nautical John that we go over and check the radio. Once we get there, I take the opportunity while we're alone to quite intensely ask him what he's doing here.
I'm happy to talk about it. John gets no greater joy than to talk about himself. I'm currently researching marine biology. My ultimate goal is to be able to release a paper on further discoveries. At the moment, there are books, but they are migrational birds mixed with nautical life like fish. There is just so little known about nature in the world that we just jam everything into one encyclopedia. My ultimate goal is to be able to release a paper and have a book just on fish, because there could be enough fish to fill a book, is what I'm saying. So I'm here purely for research purposes. I've already made 2 trips out to this area before. This is my 3rd with the intent of being able to return and publish.
I think it was, I'm going to get the name wrong here, and someone can put in the comments. It was James Herriot, the famous...
that's All Creatures Great and Small.
Is
the
it?
famous British vet. Yep.
If I'm not getting the vibe of dishonesty, I'm happy with that answer. I think we go and try and see if the radio's working.
You mentioned there was a toolkit and a couple of boxes up here.
Yeah.
On my way over to the radio, can I have a cheeky peek?
Sure. So you look inside the toolkit and there's exactly what you'd expect in there, standard toolkit things. When you look in the boxes, they're big, they're large, solid boxes. They're probably, 2.5, 3 feet on a side. You open them up and you recognise the distinctive Fresnel shape of a replacement bulb for the lighthouse in there. And you can tell already that they're heavy. They're stacked up 2 up, but it would take both of you to lift one. Yeah, the radio. So you can try and turn it on, and there's no reaction to the switch. If you want to have a go at repairing it, you're welcome to.
Yeah, I think that I will.
Okay. Roll me your electrical repair roll there.
Can't see that. I rolled a 45, and my electrical repair is
50.
So I've passed that.
45 under 50. Fantastic. Very simply, you turn the radio around and you can see that part of the red and black plugs coming in from the wall socket is disconnected. So very simply, you fix that back up, and instantly the radio comes to life with static. So you have a live radio in front of you. What would you like to do?
I think we should probably tell someone that our boat crashed and that we're stuck here.
Yeah, let's ensure that our rescue's on the way.
Yeah, I'll look for a channel to call a mayday.
So you turn the frequency dial to whatever the appropriate frequency is, and you start calling mayday, and you hear... Yeah, this is Rockport Coast Guard. We've received your transmission. Repeat, you're on Beacon Island, correct?
Yes, we're correct.
All right. Essex County, we were expecting them to have docked an hour or 2 ago. Any survivors beyond what's on the island?
Not that we're aware of. We are the only survivors as far as we know.
Okay, it's like, okay, well, we're dispatching a rescue vessel. We have to get the volunteer Coast Guard in. Make yourself safe on the island, and we'll be there in a few hours.
Do you want to let them know that the light's out at the moment?
I think that's a good idea, John.
Copy that. If it's obviously going to help us moving people in if you can get the repair there, but otherwise we'll will come with extreme caution. Might delay us a bit.
ETA?
3 hours.
Excellent.
It's like the
sorry.
conversation.
Hang on. Over.
He walks back to the radio like, I think they were still talking.
Sorry, we didn't copy that last one. Yeah, the radio's still there, happily sort of burbling away. And all that remains is there's the stairs back down, or there's the stairs up, the last few stairs that go up to the top deck there. And all it takes is there's a little chair pushed over blocking the way.
I know that the globe's not currently working, but I think it's a lot of effort to try and carry a new globe up when that may not be the fault. So I think we just go have a look first.
I concur.
And I say, I've got this one, and I intend to pick up the small little chair and move it out of the way to show that I'm helping.
And I tap him
Please don't make me roll for
patronisingly
that.
on the head.
You're very, very weak.
Well done.
So who's going first up these stairs? And so, and is Reggie, have you come back up at this point? So you're going up together?
I rejoined. Sorry, guys. There's nothing there. The room's empty.
I move the chair, but it's also a perfect opportunity to make sure I'm not first up the stairs.
You leading the way again?
I
seem to be the brave
appreciate you
one.
sending me first, and yes, I take on I'll go first.
And talk to me about your readiness. Are you hands in pockets, gun out, somewhere in between?
My gun's not out. I'm a little bit on edge, I must admit. I'm a bit spooked out from everything we've seen and heard so far, and I'm starting to get a bit concerned, especially about the location of Michael Turner.
Your mustache just twitches a little.
You take a few steps up, and as soon as you're, half a head or head and shoulders below the decking of the lighthouse room proper, you can hear that the rain noise has picked up, and you can see that there's a thin film of water that's slowly beginning to trickle down the sides of the stairway, with a sort of unmistakable tone of blood, and there's this coppery smell in the air, and the damp smell blowing in, and the wind is whistling through what sounds like a gap up ahead. And as soon as your head crests over the top, you hear a scream and 2 gunshots go off. How are you reacting to that?
Can I tell, are they towards me, or?
One of them ricochets off the ground just near you, and the other one you hear go with a loud crash and breaking glass noise through one of the windows.
I guess I withdraw a little bit and pull my gun.
Yachts, glamour, women and fine health, you want it all. And it's yours. You make your way through the ballroom and you're handed a champagne. Conversations stop because you're always the center of attention when you're drawing back on one of your Mythos menthol cigarettes. Mystery lurks in the dark depths, but the only question still to be answered here is what you are going to do with all those attractive dames hanging off your arms. 9 out of 10 physicians suggest that you should start your day off with a pack of Mythos menthol.
Caution, Badger.
You can hear this, like I say, the wind is whistling now, and the clearly there's glass broken up there. Obviously there's no noise, there's no light coming from the thing. But you can now hear the ragged breathing of someone upstairs.
I think I would, and you guys obviously hear this too.
I've dived into cover, by the way.
Yeah, I think I loudly announced that I don't know what, I was going to say FBI, but we're not the FBI yet. So, Bureau agent, throw down your weapon.
Coming back, you hear this instant, gibbering. No, they're here to get me. They're part of you. I know what you're doing. They're like men. They walk on legs. They're not men. They're coming for me. And you can hear sort of metallic clinking that sounds like a gun being smacked into the ground, and this scrabbling going on top of this. But the talking is just ranting and almost incoherent. There's no pauses for breath.
I'm a fairly accomplished, smooth talker. Shall I try and actually engage him, calm him down so we can go and talk to him?
I'm pretty sure it's Doc Brown who you're about to engage with too.
Is he screaming, Great Scott?
Great Scott.
Something about Iranians? I don't know.
So he's ranting and raving. So give me a roll, but it's gonna be difficult.
Well, I have a fast talking.
Sure.
So I'm looking to roll under 55. I roll a 54.
Okay. So that's a standard success.
It's a standard success.
So you're sort of talking up to him about how everything's fine and there's no problem, but he's not having any of it. He's basically just continuing. I don't care what you say. They come here with their honeyed words. They try anything, but all they really want is they want us dead. They want us gone. The sea is theirs. They'll take us back. They'll take us back with them. We can't let them in. And he's just continuing to rant and rave.
Can I ask if we can go and talk to him and get eyes on him?
He's not letting you get a word out. He's just
Okay.
ignoring everything you say.
Even if we call his name or something like that, of calling out names. Michael, Cassidy, Smithy, is that you?
As soon as you say Cassidy, he's like, "What? You'll not get me! You won't get me!" And he lets the last 3 rounds go, and you hear the loud smash. A very short scream, followed by a muffled thump down from ground level. Yes. He goes for another lap.
Picked up on the
Hits the
wind.
trampoline.
Yeah, he
Hits a
picks up
trampoline
speed.
at the bottom.
Yeah. No, but you just hear the it's a second's worth of scream, and then there's a thump, and the noise suddenly ceases.
And I didn't think I recognised the voice, but
It was just someone yelling constantly. It was too much, too quick.
all right. Well, I think we'd better run downstairs and check on old mate.
I quickly pop up and check and clear the lighthouse
Sure.
up there, just to ensure that what I think we heard.
You pop up, and there are 2 bodies lying up there. One is face down with a oilskin all-weather jacket. There's broken windows. You can see that there's a bullet hole in one of the windows. You can see that the window near where you came up is smashed, where obviously a bullet just smashed it a second ago. But yeah, these bodies, one of them's lying face down, and looking out, you can see the big pane that's missing from where clearly this person launched themselves.
You've gone up. I've gone down to ground level to see who it is.
So you've just taken off and run.
Yeah, but as you've gone up, I've told you I'm not sneaking off.
Sure. So, Carter, tell us what's going on up the top there. You've
Well,
got those
I'm-
2 bodies with you, and there's these puddles of blood.
I'm clearing the lighthouse area first with my gun drawn. I'm on edge. I'm ready.
Yeah, it's all glass. So you can pretty much see all of it
Yeah.
as soon as you get up there.
And I
Yep.
guess I'm checking the bodies to see if anyone's alive and who they might be. I guess I'm rolling them over.
Because of the shape, you keep seeing your own reflection in each one with your gun out, and you like challenge each one. Like use it, you.
I think are you a doctor? Are you that kind of scientist?
No,
Haven't done your philosophical yet? You haven't done your PhD? Still studying? You might want to get on that, mate.
So when you...
I'll call you up, though, to assist.
yeah, but I'm more focused on our own survival at this point. So I understand that something has happened up here, but I'm automatically turning my attention towards the light itself to see why it's not operational.
And I'm studying the room. I'm looking for clues, and I'm looking for... I want to understand what's happened here, and I want to see who these bodies are.
I'd like to give me... if you're inspecting the bodies, let's do that first. You look at one of the corpses, and the first one is that heavy hooded raincoat face down, but the other one is lying on its back, and for what you can tell, it's got some odd skin condition. It's got quite a narrow head and face, this jowly grey skin bulging near the neck area. It's almost like there's no distinction from neck to shoulders. They kind of fade into the head naturally, and the eyes are 20% too large for a human being and bulging out of their sockets. You can tell that this thing is dead. If you give me a first aid or a medicine roll, you can tell me if you get any idea of what's happened.
I've rolled a 60, and my first aid is 30. I don't have any, and my medicine is 1, so I've failed that.
Alright, so you can tell that it's dead, but you don't really know how or why. Our marine biologist can have an examination of the thing and see what he thinks about what this creature is.
I call Naughty John up.
I'm not great. It's an 88 from me.
Again, you can tell that they're not human. You can tell that there's something here that's wrong, but it's bipedal and it's wearing human clothes. It's maybe it's someone with some kind of defect. Maybe it's someone with a skin condition. You're not sure. But you know that's not a normal person. And when you roll over the one in the raincoat, you can see the same. He looks exactly the same as the other one. You can see his gums are peeled back, or his lips are peeled back to show sharp teeth in deeply receding gums, like they've been filed to a point. Apart from that, you look around the room and looking for evidence, doing your crime scene evaluation. You give me a spot hidden roll, or give you something there.
That's a 38 for me, which is a pass. I might use, I might use 6 luck points to make it a hard pass.
Okay.
I have a 14, and I can spend 2 luck points to make it extreme.
So looking around, the two of you working in concert, you realise that there's obviously bullet holes that have gone through here, and you can work out with the glass panes that 4 of those 6 bullets that would be in a revolver are gone. And you can tell, looking at the shape of the lamp, you can tell that part of the panel is cracked, and a bullet's clearly either been hit straight into it or ricocheted into it, destroying the lamp, which is why the bulb is not working, in your opinion. You can also see that where the track of that bullet has gone through the lamp to another window. You, with your mechanical repair skills, Carter, you can see that replacing the bulb would make the lighthouse work again. But you know that it's a big job getting this bulb up here and getting it out of the way. It's going to take you at least an hour to do. And it's not going to be complicated necessarily, but there's just a lot of fidgety with it, with having to hold the lamp up and get the things plugged in. This is all Dutch to you, John, I suspect. But while he's looking at that, you're looking out the window and you can see down in the distance, you can see the wreckage of the boat. You came off the Essex County.
One of the first rooms we searched had binoculars that I pocketed. Am I able to use those here?
Sure. You can look. So you look out to the boat and you see the Essex County is now almost completely submerged. It's almost gone, and you can't see anyone in the water near it. You can't tell if anyone got off or not. Looking to the south, you can see there is another pier, almost the mirror of the pier on the north end of the island where you arrived. And there's a small yellow boat, like not much bigger than a rowboat, just tied up there. Slightly sturdier than the lifeboat you came in, but no motor or anything. And as you look down, you can see the outhouses and the buildings that are around the back of the lighthouse. You can also see things moving. You can see bits of thicket moving contra to the wind. You can see the grass rustling in unnatural ways. And you can see what look like dim, shadowy shapes in the edge of the water along the beach.
How's my sanity?
Spend all of
I'm
your
really
sanity points.
nervous and I'm watching. I can't take my eyes off it, but I'm like, Carter, there's things moving outside. And I don't know what they are. I don't think they're people.
I go have a look at what he's pointing out to me and probably get suitably freaked out as well.
Okay. Both of you give me a sanity check.
32. I'm still good.
92. I have failed hard.
Great. You can lose 3 sanity for me, please. Okay. And I presume Nautical John is intellectually captivated with the idea, so much so that he's not frightened yet.
And I take my research journal out again, and at this range and with my simple graphite pencil as just garbage drawings that I'm trying to make, I get a few lines out at such a weird scale that it means nothing. And upon reflection in about an hour's time, it won't make any sense
Shorthand. Can I ask, the creatures that are dead, that are one's wearing an oily...
An oilskin coat, like the old-fashioned lighthouse keeper coat.
Not one of the coats that's sort of missing, similar to the ones missing from the...
Not the same as, similar to.
Similar to.
Nautical John's wearing one that's similar to that as well.
I'm not a fish. You've got to believe me.
Just what a fish would say.
Other clothes?
Yeah, it's wearing a snazzy set of trousers and a shirt.
Can I go through their pocket, please?
You sure can. You go through their pockets and you find absolutely nothing.
Right.
Because I still have my sanity and I seem to be enthralled with what's going on at the moment, I'd like to take my dissecting kit and have a look at those teeth of the creature again. And I'm paying close attention to see if there's anything caught between the teeth or in the teeth.
You can. I'm not going to make you roll for it because it's your natural skill, but you can see that there's like shreds of meat in there. You can't tell what animal the meat comes from, but it's fresh. And you can see that these teeth, once you look at the shape of the jaw and the teeth in it, this is like no creature you've seen. It's not a simian, mammalian jaw. It's not a fish jaw. It's some unholy combination of the pair.
And I just remarked to myself that it's fascinating, and I write some notes into my journal, like these must be a migrating species.
And your first thought is, this is like nothing we know. I can name this. Meanwhile, downstairs, we'll cut down to see what Reggie's doing. So, Reggie, you've run down the stairs. How are you? Is this calm? Is this panic? What's your thought?
I want to get down to the. I'm going to assume it's a body. If it's
a body.
It's
you
a
get
body.
Closer, and you can see lying.
Yeah,
flat on its back.
I'm wanting to get there and just make sure there's nothing that links me to this place.
Okay. So you get closer, and as soon as you get within sight range of the person's face and everything, you can tell. You recognise instantly that this is Cassidy.
I was worried that would be the case.
So I'll get you to roll sanity for me.
All right, roll sanity. I'm looking to roll under a 55, and I've rolled a 4.
So you're going to lose. You're still going to lose 1 sanity just for the fact that you've encountered someone you've known in such
an old partner in
circumstances. Crime. So you said you want to search.
Yeah, I need to go. Well, first things first. I'm looking for the gun that he was using to shoot. He was letting off rounds down towards us.
So that's very easy to find. Still clenched in his right hand is a Colt 1877 revolver, and you can see that all of the rounds in there have been fired, and there's still that distinctive cordite smell of a freshly fired gun. And just from what you see compared to what's in the study, you can see that this matches that size and shape of the box you saw in the study drawers. This is that revolver, as far as you can tell.
Pretty glad I took those 6 rounds from that drawer.
Yep. So you can take that if you like that revolver, and
I do.
I presume you're going to load it straight away?
Yeah, absolutely.
As he's loading it, can I ask if one of the 6 casings is silver, and so you put that one in the 6th position?
It is not.
Ah, shame.
So
we're not killing werewolves here.
He's
tipped with holy water.
You've got enough of a firearm skill to know how to use and operate a gun, I presume.
Yeah.
You've got some background in it.
Yeah.
All right. So
so I've obviously taken his revolver.
Mm-hmm. So you keep
searching? I'm searching his body and just trying to figure out what the hell's going on with him. This is not the George Cassidy.
Not the George Cassidy
that I knew and loved back in the day. He's undergone some changes, some pretty drastic mental changes. He would have recognised my voice when I was calling out to him before. The fact that he just kept yelling and shooting at me, this is very upsetting to me.
So you search through and you find there's nothing in his pockets. But as you're just about to give up when you get to his chest region, you feel a lump there. And pulling aside his shirt, you find a heavy purse, a drawstring bag that's tied around his neck. And inside, you find a handful of gold coins matching the ones you found downstairs in the hallway. And as you're looking at this, you hear the weather's getting worse, the rain's increasing, but you hear the twigs snap in the woods. You suddenly become aware of the rustling noises that are coming from basically all sides. Give me a sanity roll.
Well, I'm looking to roll under a 53. I've rolled a 98. I'm going to spend 48 points.
The beauty of failing a sanity roll is I get to take control of you for a second and decide what your next action is. And that's obviously a horrendous fail. So I think the fact that you've been so focused on searching his body and all of a sudden the world has rushed back into clear focus for you. And you feel now instantly like you're surrounded on all sides. So at a flat run, snatching the person, carrying it in your hand, gun still in the other hand, you flat run straight towards the door that leads into the kitchen and slamming it shut behind you and dragging over the very light table and chairs. You're sat in the room with your back to the hallway door, holding the gun in front of you, just panting for a little second. And you two up in the lighthouse tower, you hear the door slam distantly below and this pitter-patter of feet.
Believe it or not, that's exactly what I was going to do anyway.
Well, it's good. You've just done it madly. You hear this down below, the slamming of the door, and obviously sends a jolt through you. And as you cast your eyes down towards the ground now, you see that the bushes around you seem to have come alive with movement. And this very small island seems to be teeming with unidentified life. And this probably represents quite a threat to you. And it's probably something that's quite frightening. And we will find out about that next time.
No.
Thank you. I hope you've enjoyed episode 2. I lied. I said this might be the last episode. No, these guys have taken a long time to find all the clues about what's going on.
We're thorough.
Absolutely. Good investigators. So what you as listeners, what we'd love to hear from you is what really helps us out is reviews. We love in-universe reviews, and we're going to start picking our favourites and reading them out. Another way to help us if you're enjoying what you hear is our Patreon, which for I think it's $1 is the minimum membership, and you get access to all kinds of behind-the-scenes stuff, not only of the Badger YouTube painting videos, but also the behind-the-scenes nonsense of us filming or attempting to film a lot of this stuff. Jump on our Discord. We've got place there where you can suggest RPGs you'd like to see. You can give us compliments or criticisms. Next time, when you join us, we're going to have the final episode, I promise this time, of the Lightless Beacon Call of Cthulhu scenario. It will be final one way or the other. Thanks very much for joining me. I've been Gordon.
I've been Mike.
I've been Fitz.
I've been Wegs.
Thanks very much. We'll catch you next time.
Hi, I'm Albert Cthulhu. I'm campaigning to be your state senator. You know, too many politicians these days are so self-obsessed with their own power games, they forget the needs of the common man.
Taxes are too high.
My wife wants the vote.
The blood from my sacrifices simply won't come out of this carpet.
Well, I, Albert Cthulhu, promise to fix all of your problems once I'm elected and Jupiter ascends into the third house of Venus on the summer solstice and the appropriate sacrifices have been made. I can personally guarantee you won't care about any of your problems anymore. Think of it this way, a vote for me is non-negotiable. Do you really care how or why?
Thanks, Mr. Cthulhu.
Ha ha ha! Thanks, America.
Flashing Badger.